Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Gonna be giving you my predictions for our game against Brighton. So score prediction, I'm gonna go with 3-0 to Manchester United. The goal scorers, I'm gonna go with Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. I think he will score 2. I've already given you my starting 11 prediction. Now, we've beaten Brighton twice this season. We've beaten them 3-2 at the Amex Stadium in the Premier League. And we're beating them 3-0 in the EFL Cup at the Amex Stadium. The last time we played Brighton at Old Trafford, we beaten them 3-1. Now, Manchester United have got some injuries. Anthony Martial, he is a doubt for this game because he sustained an injury whilst he was on international duty with France. It says Marcus Rashford's also a doubt, and so too is Mason Greenwood. Jones is obviously still out. Lindelof, I think he's got a back problem. I think Juan Mata is also still out. But we've got to bounce back in this game against Brighton because before the international break, we lost 3-1 to Leicester in the FA Cup quarter-final. And it was an abysmal performance by Manchester United. Fred was absolutely abysmal. He endured the worst game in his Manchester United career. He gave the ball away countless times, and he was accountable for Leicester's first goal. Fred certainly wasn't worth the £52 million we got him for. The only positive from Man United perspective in that game against Leicester was Mason Greenwood's goal. Solskjaer did say after the game he had no regrets over the team selection because Ollie didn't start Luke Shaw and Bruno Fernandes, and they've been our two best players this season. But Leicester totally dominated the game. You know, Iheanacho scored 2 goals and Youri Tielemans scored the other one, and you know, they had some very good chances in the game, so they could have had more than 3 goals. Leicester progressed to the FA Cup semi-final for the first time since 1982. Brighton, they've picked a bit of form up recently, but they are sitting 16th in the Premier League. Their current manager is Graham Potter. He's been Brighton manager since 2019. I think last season he got Brighton a 15th place finish. Before he was at Brighton, he was at Swansea. And before he was at Swansea, he was at Östersund. He was in charge of Östersund for 7 years. Brighton have got some good players, you know, that could cause us problems tomorrow. Obviously, Maupay, he's probably one of Brighton's best players. They've got Moises Caicedo. I think they brought him in January. They've got Danny Welbeck. I think he'll be in contention to play in this game. If he does, he'll be reuniting with Manchester United. They've got Pascal Gross, who's quite good. Leandro Trossard, he could also cause us problems. They've got that Bissau Uma. They've got Adam Lallana. Ben White, he's very, very good. Man United are actually interested in Ben White. I think he's valued at around £35 million. They've got Lewis Dunk, who's also very good. They've got Tariq Lamptey, he's also good as well. Brighton do have some injuries. Adam Webster's out with injury. I don't think he's going to be playing tomorrow. Aaron Connolly, he's out with injury. Solly March is out with injury. And Dunn's out with injury. And Tariq Lamptey has been out with injury. I can assure that Manchester United will finish in the top 4. I assured that after our 1-0 win against West Ham earlier on this season. After Brighton, we do play Granada in the Europa League quarter final. That's a massive game for Manchester United. The Europa League is our only chance of winning any silverware this season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to win a trophy at Manchester United because he's not yet won a trophy as Manchester United manager, and we haven't won a trophy since 2017. So we don't win the Europa League this season, that'll be exactly 4 years without a trophy. Solskjaer did say not so long ago that winning trophies can be an ego thing. He said that in regards to some other managers and some other clubs. And he says clubs like Man United, trophies no longer prove success. But I've got to totally disagree with Solskjaer in that aspect. But Solskjaer will not be sacked even if we fail to win the Europa League this season. So I can assure Solskjaer will be Man United manager in the summer transfer window, and he will be Man United manager next season. I said he deserves another season because progress has been made. As you all know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is getting a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. It's likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra one, and he's obviously been given a pay rise. A lot of United fans disagree with us giving him a new contract. Does he deserve a new contract? In some aspects, yeah. In some aspects, no. Sources at Old Trafford did say a few weeks ago that talks were set to begin any day on the new deal, because Ole is now into the final year of his current 3-year contract. Paul Scholes says that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserves a new deal. I can almost assure he won't see his new contract out. Solskjaer is not the long-term manager for Manchester United. And after Granada, we do play Tottenham. Tottenham is going to be a difficult game. We've got Leeds United coming up soon, and Liverpool's also coming up soon at Old Trafford. If we finish second in the Premier League this season and we win the Europa League, I'll turn around and say, yeah, that represents a good season for Man United, and that gives us something to build on going on into next season. Even if we wanted to sack Solskjaer now, we wouldn't be able to, because as far as I'm aware, at the moment, no one is available to replace him. And to be honest with you, if we did eventually sack Solskjaer, it wouldn't really solve much anyway, because when we have been inconsistent, not all of the blame has stemmed from him. He's accountable for a few things though. The main explanation why Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend. That's what saved him. Disregarding him being a club legend, I can almost assure he wouldn't have been Manchester United manager now. You know, Solskjaer endured 11 years as a player at Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. And his most iconic moment as a player was 1999 when he scored the winner in the Champions League final and obviously won the club the treble. But Ole, as a manager, hasn't got that big club arrogance, and he doesn't have a proven pedigree as a manager. And Solskjaer's decision making is another one of my concerns. I just think he's in a position that he shouldn't be really in. But Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Manchester United it was going to be a massive job. Despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. You know, he's been Manchester United manager now over 2 years. And reflecting how long he's been at the club, he has gained some managerial experience. He's learned quite a bit on the job and he's tried a few different elements. But we have got to credit him in quite a lot of aspects. I think he has made good signings as Man United manager. You know, he's brought the likes of Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. Also brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Ighalo in on loan. Obviously, Ighalo left in January, but still brought him in, Ollie. And he also brought the likes of Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Amad Diallo Traore and Facundo Pellistri. We loaned Facundo Pellistri out in January. And I like the way that Ollie has promoted the youth because he's given the young players their opportunities and he's brought more young players into the club. He's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in as Ollie. You know, we saw a few players leave in January, where we saw Ighalo leave, like I mentioned. Facundo Pellistri went out on loan. Marcus Rojo left the club. Timothy Fosu-Mensah left the club and Jesse Lingard went out on loan. Don't forget we are open to a sensational return for Lingard and it says we could be giving him a new 3-year contract. West Ham obviously want to get him permanently. They value him from between 15 to 20 million pounds. But since he's gone out on loan to West Ham, he's made an impact and Solskjaer has been impressed with him. He lost his place in our team, didn't he? And in the other transfer windows, Ollie's endured. You know, we've seen the likes of Young leave the club. Young was a loan servant. We've seen Valencia leave the club. He was a loan servant. Seen Darmian leave the club. Seen Smalling leave the club. Smalling was a loan servant. Saw Herrera leave the club. Herrera did endure like 5 years at Man United. Saw Fellaini leave the club. He left in January 2019. Fellaini endured 6 years at Man United. Saw Angel Gomez leave the club. Saw Sanchez leave the club. We also saw Romelu Lukaku leave the club. We loaned Tahith Chon out. We loaned Dylan Levitt out. We loaned James Garner out. I think we loaned Dishan Bernard out. And I think we loaned Joe Pereira out again for another season. Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season at the club. He guided us to 3 semi-finals. We've been in 4 semi-finals in total so far. He got us qualification for the Champions League and he got us a 3rd place finish, the second highest we've finished since Ferguson. And this season, Ollie's got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. He got us to the FA Cup quarter-final and we're in the Europa League quarter-final. We've got a very good away record in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. And we have enjoyed good periods under Ollie where we have seen consistency. And in some of them good periods, he's got the best out of the team. And we are second in the Premier League. And at one point, Solskjaer got us top of the Premier League. That's when we was in the title race. So they are the positives regarding Solskjaer. So there's not all negativity regarding him. You know, he is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. We're not known as a sacking football club despite us sacking 3 managers. You know, we sacked David Moyes after 10 months. He's the worst manager we've ever had. Ferguson was at the fault for ever recommending him in at that time. We finished 7th under the Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, and he won the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. I think he also got 2nd in his first season. So you can say we enjoyed one good season under Mourinho. We've brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. Under Moyes, we brought just 2 players in, and that was Fellaini and Mata. Louis van Gaal, he must have brought a good 14, 15 players in. He brought the likes of Schneidlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, Herrera, Romero, Victor Valdez. So they're a lot of the players we brought in under Louis van Gaal. A lot of the players Van Gaal brought in are no longer here. And Mourinho, he recommended 11 players into the football club. There's still quite a few players even the Jose Mourinho era, but Solskjaer's got rid of a few of the players who Mourinho brought in. But yeah, Ollie's still inheriting some players from other managerial eras. You know, we spent over £1 billion in the last 8 years. But in the last 8 years, it's been an ongoing cycle of inconsistency. You know, I think we have made mistakes in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. I think one of the biggest problems at the club for a while has been the board. Obviously, because our recruitment's been poor, we've overpaid for players, and in general, the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired haven't got the players that they wanted to recommend in. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years ago now. And I don't think Solskjaer's good enough to lead us to a Premier League title. But anyway, this year's summer transfer window is huge for Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like I said to you yesterday, Man United will spend big in the summer transfer window according to reports. Solskjaer says though we'll keep transfer dealings quiet. I reckon Solskjaer needs around £200 million if he's to get the players he wants to recommend in. Solskjaer did warn earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual due to the coronavirus pandemic, but he said he's interested in bringing in players that will be a perfect fit for the club. I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window. Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves, because obviously we've got John Murtough. He's our director of football, and he knows the club through thick and thin because he's been at Man United since 2014. And we've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director, and he endured 2 decades as a player for Man United. Solskjaer's already had discussions with the recruitment team over our transfer targets and our transfer plans for the summer in general. And obviously Woodward believes that Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. He released a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. So in that aspect, Woodward is backing him. And in general, Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ole, even when we was enduring them very, very bad periods. The summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Manchester United manager. So far he's endured 4 transfer windows. On my next video, I'll be giving you an update on some more transfer news. We're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings in the summer transfer window. We are going to sell players in the summer transfer window. Paul Pogba, there's a good chance he's going to leave Man United in the summer transfer window. Man United are willing to do a swap deal with Juventus because Juventus want a Paul Pogba swap deal. He says Juventus are willing to offer us Paulo Dybala in a swap deal for Paul Pogba. So we're going to be forced into a Paul Pogba swap deal if he leaves in the summer transfer window. Fabrizio Romano recently said that Juventus are refusing to give up on re-signing Paul Pogba. Pogba endured 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United. He's had a long-running transfer saga. You know, he's been linked to a move to Real Madrid before, and he's been linked to a move to PSG. Paul Pogba still wants to quit Manchester United. He's rejected a new contract because Damasio recently said that Paul Pogba has got no intentions of extending his contract at Man United and his preferred destination is Juventus. If Paul Pogba doesn't leave us in the summer of this year, there's a good chance he'll leave on a free next year. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on Pogba's contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. Solskjaer did say earlier on this season he hopes that Paul Pogba will stay and sign a new contract. And we was in contract negotiations with Paul Pogba. Now, we've been getting the best out of him in recent months. Obviously, Paul Pogba was out with a thigh injury for a while. First part of this season, he was out with an ankle injury, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. So sustained a few injuries now at Manchester United. This is Paul Pogba's 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. As it stands at the moment, he's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. Paul Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, is obviously desperate to get his client out of the football club. He's been doing a lot of talking recently. Mino Raiola criticised Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Paul Pogba out of the club when he was younger. All United fans, I presume, disagreed with Mino Raiola criticising Ferguson. And Mino Raiola came out and said that he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy. Back in December, Mino Raiola made an announcement saying that Paul Pogba's career is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement. But he did say, though, earlier on this season, he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season, and he made an admission saying that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer. So there you go. Donny van der Beek, there's a good chance we're going to offload him in the summer transfer window. I think we need to offload him because he's not getting enough opportunities at Manchester United. I'd say totally different regarding Donny van der Beek. If he was getting enough opportunities, I'd say definitely keep him because he is a good player. Now, we are considering a Donny van der Beek swap deal. Tutto Sport recently said that we are willing to offer Donny van der Beek to Juventus in exchange for Adrian Rabiot. But it came out the other week saying that Donny van der Beek still feels loved at Manchester United despite his lack of game time, and Ronald de Boer has backed Donny van der Beek to become a success at Man United. Said earlier on this season that Van der Beek wants to quit Man United after one season due to his lack of game time, and it said he wanted to hold showdown talks with Ed Woodward over his future. Mark Hughes was recently talking about him and he said he feels lost at Man United and is edging closer to a Man United exit. We got Van der Beek in a deal worth £40 million, paid £35 million up front, was it? And there was £5 million in add-ons. And he's versatile, he can play in 3 different roles. But most of his appearances have come from the bench. He's only started 2 games in the league this season. And ESPN said back in January that we rejected several loan offers for Van der Beek. Matic, good chance we're going to offload him in the summer transfer window because he isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but he still gets his chances. And as you all know, I've always had my strong reservations about Matic because he's always been a slow player. And analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he has been inconsistent. The club made a mistake giving him that new 3-year contract. Matic has been at the club now almost 4 years. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Phil Jones, I'm expecting him to go. Phil Jones is the only outfield player that's still here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. This is his 10th season at Man United, so he's been a long servant, but he's always been inconsistent, and Jones is injured. He's been out of injury for over a year. Axel Tuanzebe, should we offload him because he doesn't get in our 11? De Gea, will Man United sell him in the summer transfer window? I think we should, because I reckon now De Gea has had his years at Manchester United. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. This is his 10th season at the football club. He's made over 500 appearances in all competitions. And he's been our number one for a while. A few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. But in the last couple of years, he's made too many mistakes, and reflecting on that, he's become a liability. But De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He's on £375,000 a week. I think there's a good chance he'll go back to Spain. We sell him in the summer transfer window. I reckon we'll get from between 50 to £60 million. By the way, Solskjaer has said for the remainder of this season that De Gea and Dean Henderson will take it in turns in goal. Delors, I think we'll be also looking to get rid of him permanently. He's on loan at AC Milan at the moment. Edison Cavani, it looks like he's leaving Man United in the summer, because Footballer Insider said yesterday that Edison Cavani is willing to take a pay cut to join Boca Juniors. He's already reached a verbal agreement with them. Man United recently held showdown talks with Edison Cavani over his future at the club. And we want to convince him to stay for next season. Looks like it's not going to happen though. Edison Cavani's current contract expires at the end of the campaign. The Uruguay coach has urged him to leave. Solskjaer said earlier on this season he's hopeful that Cavani will stay, and he revealed that we have been in contract negotiations with Cavani, but Solskjaer did say that Cavani is closer to Boca Juniors than staying at Man United. His father came out earlier on this season and said that Cavani is unhappy. He's not comfortable in England and he wants to leave. Cavani's sustained a few injuries at Man United, but I think he has made a fantastic impact since he's come in. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to sell Anthony Martial because he has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. His chances have been there for him, but he hasn't converted them. He's out of injury at the moment. He had an hip injury earlier on this season and he had an injury prior to that, so he's sustained a few injuries now. Earlier on this season, it said Solskjaer's backing him to rediscover his form, and he said he's been impressed with his work rate. I reckon Martial's had 2 good seasons. He was good last season and he was good in his debut season under Van Gaal. He's been at the club now over 5 years. We got him in a deal worth $54 million from Monaco. We got him at the age of 19. And Juan Mata, good chance we're going to offload him. So imagine if they go in the summer transfer window, we'll generate a substantial amount and it'll help us with our rebuilding process. There's also a lot of players that are going to stay in the summer transfer window, and there's a few players that have got long-term futures at Manchester United. You know. But like I say, we haven't been the same team since Ferguson retired. A lot of United fans predicted it were going to go downhill when he retired. You know, Ferguson endured 27 years, was it, at Man United? You know, won 30-odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. So Ferguson brought success to the club, but he didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. But no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did, and no one's going to last as long as Ferguson did, so that's something we've got to accept. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.